As a music video director, I primarily direct very narrative, story-driven videos, and so when I first met Tally, we're talking about ideas for the video, and of course it was very esoteric. It was very we wanted to capture a feeling, we wanted to capture an atmosphere. For the first time, really, in my career, I was making a music video that wasn't set out, storyboarded, and not necessarily storyboarded drawn, but storyboarded up here sort of video. It was about finding images, finding things where we were at then. And actually, just down the road from where I live, there's a park that we shot a lot of the open air stuff in, and right next to it there's this alleyway, sort of a pathway under trees, and I remember when I was walking around this park thinking about it as a possible location for the video. I walked into this path and looked down the path, and the trees it was just arches. They just made this visual image of arches, and I just immediately thought, oh, Tally's going to love this. So then when we did the city shoot, I wanted to incorporate arches a lot. So the arches kind of became a visual metaphor, a visual motif. An approach that I wanted to take, which I found out only shortly into the process that Tally felt exactly the same way, is that this is a very spiritual song, and we want to appeal to the spiritual side of people. And spirituality and religion obviously interlink a lot, but this was about not the specifics of any religion really. It was about imagery that can flow through all faiths, all even if you have no faith, even if you just have a faith in humanity, it should hopefully ride that line. In a town next to me, there's this beautiful bridge that we shot, and just so happens that it's got a big train track behind it with huge arches. So I was like, well, we've got an arch bridge, we've got arches, yay! And the funny thing about that is that's a park in the middle of the town centre of Chelmsford. And if you pan the camera any one way to the left or one way to the right, you'd just see millions of people walking around, walking their dogs, cars and everything. But if you frame it just right, it just looks like this sort of isolated bridge in the middle of nowhere. I get a kick out of doing things like that. I love cheating things. That's a skill you have to have as a director. Is when you walk onto a location, you immediately have to see the frame. You immediately have to block out everything that's around you and know that, and if you stop the picture there, stop the picture there, it's going to give a totally different effect to if you see the rest of it. We found this couple to play as a couple, with just passers by, and they were really up for it, and they were great. And I only had to direct them twice. We had 2 takes. They were real pros, and it was just perfect. That again, this wasn't initially designed, but it just perfectly worked out that if we had Tally in the same dress that she crossed the bridge in, and then we have her walking across the bridge, and then the next sort of thing that happens in a linear way is she sees the couple, and we get that loneliness feeling, and then a little bit further down we see her coming back across the bridge. It sounds really silly when you just sort of describe it like that, but the imagery, it just tells a story. It just tells a story, and that's all we needed. We just needed that little flow, that little story. Tally's very spiritual, but she's also very stylish, and she loves the two. And sometimes there's a conflict there, which I think which I think everyone has that. We all want to be true to our higher sort of thoughts of what being a good human being is all about, that has nothing to do with style and substance and any of that stuff. And then we see the clothes that we like and the cars that we like, and we go, oh, that's nice. So and Tally's exactly the same, but she takes both very, very seriously. So I had the job of traversing between those two sides of Tally and getting a stylish looking video that was also true to her spiritual nature, and I hope that we managed it. I think it's a very warm video. I think it's a very Even though it's sad, it feels sad but warm. It's spiritual, but not overtly so. It's I think we've got the balance right. So I hope you agree. I had a fantastic time. I loved working with Tally, and happily work with her again.